Hey, what's up guys? And today I'm going to be asking the question on which Halo has the best water. So before that, please leave a like and subscribe, and it would help me out a lot. And also, thank you guys for getting me past my short-term goal of getting 25 subscribers. You guys have been awesome, and thank you for your support. And now can we please trying to get me to my end of year goal of getting 50 subs on YouTube. And also follow me on Twitch. I'm currently trying to become a Twitch affiliate. And please go to the link in the description and leave a follow there. And I will see you whenever I stream. So, now to ask the question on which Halo has the best water. I have just made a actual chart and actually ranked all the 8 Halo titles, and I've actually divided up into 5 categories. The first one is design, second is sound, reaction, fog, which is if you can go underwater and it actually has a blurry effect or has any effect at all, and physics on how it reacts to objects in the game. And going off the design is how it looks on the animation, the coloring, basically the art style of it and the animation. Sound is kind of tied in with the design and reaction, is that, oh, what sound does it make by its standard sound whenever it, like the reaction from like explosion, you driving through it, or movement. And physics is how it interacts with like the sandbox, like how a grenade, like, does it actually bounce up, like actually skip, do exploding car parts float, do dead bodies float, etc. So the 8th place, which we only have 8 multiplayer games, or 8 Halo titles in the main franchise, is Halo 2 Anniversary, taking 8th place with a score of 4 out of 10. It mainly suffers from its design. It also depends on what map you're on for Halo 2 Anniversary, is because the water design is not really consistent throughout all the maps. Don't get me wrong, some of the maps have perfect water, it looks amazing, but on other ones, like the Forge Canvas Awash, that water is terrible. Sound, it has a pretty good sound for its standard animation and also when it interacts with other stuff. Reaction is okay, but it's not the best. It doesn't have fog or it doesn't interact with physics, so it scores 0 in those categories. So, on our 7th place is Combat Evolved, with a lower score being a 1 out of 2. Its design is pretty good for 2001 and 2003. Its sound for that time is actually pretty good. Its reaction is actually amazing for the time, is that when an explosion, it actually shoots up a lot of water, and also when driving vehicles through it, it actually does have that water effect that actually, I wish a lot of games actually continued with that effect. It doesn't have fog and it doesn't really affect physics, but for a game made in 2001 or the Gearbox port in 2003 is actually pretty good. So it scores a 5 out of 10. So our number in the 6th spot is Halo 5. It probably has one of the best looking and probably almost the best sounds, but its reactions are not really good. And I wouldn't even say its sounds are pretty good, but it has all these sounds. It just the only thing it's giving a lot of points for it is that it probably has the best design but I'm looking for all these categories. It doesn't have a fog, and it basically is saying, oh, you go in the water, you're basically, anything that goes in here is dead. So it gives it a 5 out of 10 as well. So in our 5th place is going to be Halo 2. Its design is actually pretty good, and its sound is amazing. Its reactions, since it's earlier, it started to like actually have some reactions to it that were a bit more unique. It actually is pretty good, and you actually started to see like actual ripple effects from like explosions and gunfire. It actually does have some fog, but it's not one of the best, but it actually started to introduce that fog effect, giving it a 6 out of 10. In 4th place, we have Halo 4, which I'm not even making this up. I did actually think it was actually going to be scored a bit higher, but actually doesn't. It actually scores in that 4th spot for Halo 4. Its design is pretty good. Its sound is pretty standard, even though it's using the Halo Reach engine, but slightly modified. Its reaction is okay, but it's there. It does have fog, but it does not have physics. So it gives a 6 out of 10. Its design is actually pretty good, going back on that. It is sustainable, but for the Xbox 360, it was actually pretty good at the time it came out. And Halo 4 is actually a pretty good-looking game, but sadly it suffers in a lot of other places. So, our 3rd spot is going to be the recent Halo game, is Halo Infinite. It has a pretty good design. Its sounds for like explosions and effects is probably the best we're gonna get out of a Halo game. Is that they are amazing. Its reactions are pretty good. It doesn't have fog. It kind of suffers that from Halo 5. Is that you can't really look underwater to actually see like fog effect. But with the upcoming, with the Halo Infinite being a live service game, this one can actually become the best and has more room to grow, and if you can actually fix it in a way where we can actually like see an actually improvement on like the explosions, because what mainly Halo Infinite suffers from, the water physics, is that when you throw explosions in general, the UNSC or project physical round explosions have like this black like sphere that pops up in like the explosion that kind of ruins it. But if you throw a spike grenade in the water, it actually shows off a lot better. And in 2nd place, we have Halo Reach. It has probably a really unique design for actually having that volumetric water. Its sounds are actually pretty good for its standard. Its reactions are pretty good, but when you go underwater, it probably has like one of the best. And its reactions are pretty good. It does have one of the best underwater like effects, is that it actually muffles the sound and actually does have physics when it affects water, is that the tires would actually float, and it actually looks pretty good, and I really like this water, and it gets a score out of 9 out of 10. And the 1st place and winner of the best water in a Halo game is Halo 3. It has a pretty good design that is consistent. Its sounds are amazing, is pretty good. Its reaction is probably one of the best Halos. It does have fog, and depending on what water you're in, is actually what color it is. Is that if you're on a map with blue water, the effects are going to be blue. If it's on a ocean is green, it's going to have green water. If it's in a muddy water, it's going to be brown. Is that it probably has one of the best, and also has one of the best physics, is that on specific maps, if it has flowing water, dead bodies and car parts from explosion, like from actual physics, is that they will actually flow. And that's amazing, and I wish Halo games continue that, and this giving it the perfect score of a 10 out of 10. So please leave a comment if you think a Halo game should be in a different spot, or if you agree on which that a Halo game is in a specific spot and should stay in that spot, and which Halo game you think should Halo Infinite kind of copy in terms of water physics, design, and etc. So please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!